With me today is my good friend, Ken Marks, who's the global channel chief for SetinelOne. So Kenny, welcome.
Thanks, good to be here. Good to see you.
We discuss all the time the evolution that Disty's taken over the years, and now it's evolved to this whole other sphere based on the world that we're living in, which is, cloud oriented and those kinds of services are required.
Interestingly enough, we've always had distribution at SetinelOne internationally. And then for public sector, it's just for many reasons you need to have that, right? Language, currency, specialization. But we finally got to a point in North America. We just brought on distribution at the beginning of our fiscal year, and it's been great, right? We've brought them on because you can no longer manage 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 relationships direct with partners. So you need that group that can be that glue and bring it together. So not only helping us collect, which is some of the basic things that they can do for us, but now we use them for all the things you mentioned: recruiting, enablement, and helping in the sales cycle. So it's a big deal for us, right? There were always naysayers in an organization that wonders, why would you bring distribution into the equation? But once you have it, they feel the difference.
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny you say that, because one of the things that we've got a vendor advisory council as part of GTDC, and I talk to them all the time about the conversations that they have internally. And of course, I remember having those conversations where we spent, 30% of our time explaining internally what our go-to-market strategy ought to be and why, and educating people. And that's exactly what we try to do at GTDC, is educate the market. And the simplest way to have the conversation, I found, and you're probably doing this, is to talk about how would you replace that activity if you didn't have a distributor doing it, with 40 years of experience doing all of that at scale. And that's the piece that people just have a hard time understanding.
Yeah, and we do that because it's such a real life example. So when we built the business case to launch distribution, we did that. So look, we're going to go from 612 million ARR that we just reported to over $1 billion, as quick as we can, and then two. You can't scale that way by just hiring your own order management people, your own collections people, your own processing people. You can't keep up with it. So the only way to do that is hire somebody who's an expert at it. And that's what we did.
Yeah. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, and it's easy because it works.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.